Dumaguete.
Hello, Negros Oriental.
Hello, Sillimanians around the world.
This is Joshua Soldivillo.
And this is Ronelyn Vailoces.
You're watching
Silliman. For Silliman updates, the Silliman University College of Engineering and Design produced 41 civil engineers who passed the May 2022 Civil Engineer Licensure Examination administered by the Professional Regulation Commission, or PRC. Congratulations to our newly registered engineers and, of course, to the proud parents and the faculty and staff of the College of Engineering and Design.
Meanwhile, it is finals week this May 23 to May 28 for our graduating students. May you have productive and positive outcomes for your final requirements. Good luck with your performance tasks and examinations. Fighting!
In other news, the Silliman University community mourned the passing of Dr. Agustin A. Pulido, a member of the SU Board of Trustees. He also served as the university's 11th president from 1996 to 2006. Dr. Pulido passed away on May 7, 2022 at the age of 90.
That would be all. See you next week for another set of Silliman updates.
Good evening, everyone. This is a magazine program that talks about different aspects of Silliman University.
A program initiated to discuss matters concerning the campus by the sea. Welcome to
Silliman.
Good evening sa tanan. Thank you for joining another episode of Silliman. We would like to greet our Sillimanians and friends of Silliman around the world, and would like to give a special shout out to our Silliman University librarian, Ma'am Rosalina Dinoy, and of course the American coordinator for allowing us, Ron, to use their facilities, and of course American Corner Dumaguete. So, joining us tonight are our faculty members from the College of Agriculture. And they say that magtanim ay di biro, maghapong nakayuko. But how far is our agricultural sector able to adjust with the changing times? And how does it address, is given that we have worsening disasters, we have climate change, and how do we prepare a Silliman graduate of the College of Agriculture? Joining us tonight is the Dean of the College of Agriculture. We have Dr. Jose Edwin Cubelo. Sir, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening to our viewers and to our hosts this evening.
We also have here with us the research coordinator and a faculty member of the College of Agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Assistant Professor Arsenio Bulfa.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
All right, so we are so pleased to have you tonight, sirs, and I'm honored that we have agriculturists here, Ronelyn.
Yes, Josh.
Let's begin our conversation with the common misconceptions among agriculturists, because a majority would say that, you know, being an agriculturist, or say, do not enroll in the College of Agriculture. Basically, you will just do the bunlay, do the daro. Oh, daro. You will do the daro and everything.
Correct.
But how do we, what's the truth about this? Maybe you can also shed light on these misconceptions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there are a lot of misconceptions actually when you enroll. I've experienced all those, and one of that is, it's true that they would say that if you're not really good in academics, you better go to agriculture, because agriculture is about, you should be tough and all about practical skill like that. And apart from that,
Essentially, sir, you're saying that the common misconception also is that agriculture is for those who are not that
Sure.
intellectually
Yes,
inclined.
Yes. That's why when I was when I'm about to enroll at the College of Agriculture, my teachers before asked me why agriculture, because you're top of the class, and why would you choose agriculture? Like, may sila, agriculture is para guna sa mga mahinay o utok. But I'm happy that it's changing now, because today we have a lot of students coming from science high schools from the Visayas, Mindanao, and even Luzon. And we've also from private schools like Ateneo, and they are not regular students, they're valedictorians from Ateneo and from Cebu and Manila. So we're very happy that even though with the existing notions, they were not able to get that, discourage that.
And even to the point of stereotyping, I believe.
Yes. That agriculture is for the boys only, because you should be tough, you should be skillful, you should be strong. And that's why sometimes, agriculture is, we don't have a lot of girls in the college, but I think it's changing now, because not just in the Philippines but abroad, the advancement of agriculture now includes robotics,
Wow.
GIS, remote sensing. So these are not these are jobs that women can do very well.
I agree. Yeah, definitely.
You know, Josh, listening to Sir Bulfa, these misconceptions and stereotyping is actually dangerous, although these are subtle. But
Correct.
this also has material effects. Now, I'd like to ask Dean Cubelo, how do you respond to these misconceptions and stereotyping?
If I may just share one of the experiences that I had, I think 2 years ago, there were a group of agriculture students that actually came to me complaining about the kind of treatment that they get from one of the, unfortunately, professors in the university. They felt so humiliated, okay? Because one of these teachers, and I'm not generalizing, now this was I think, just a simple case, but in that particular class, they were made to think, okay, and were asked a question, why are you enrolled in agriculture? All that you need to do is just put chicken dung or a manure in the plant, and that's it. Okay, and so these students came to me because they felt so slighted. Yeah. And so I really had to address that because I had to support, how my students felt. And so I wrote a formal letter of complaint addressed to the VPA and to the dean. And that was settled. And of course, we had to, at the same time, make it clear to our students that what everyone is saying is not necessarily true.
Right.
Okay, the profession of agriculture is really more of a science than anything else. Okay, what you see that is being carried out or implemented in the field, it's just a product of so many other activities. It's a product of a whole host of scientific disciplines, right? There's people that are engaged in research, in the area of breeding. There's scientists that's exploring how to deal with all of these pathogenic organisms. So the most obvious thing that people would see is just, we see this farmers planting, but that's just really, right? That's just really like the end of the line. There's just so many very important processes along the line that really contributes to what it is today. And I think that we'd like to also reinforce the idea that in nation building, we cannot really achieve a certain level of development if we don't have a very strong foundation in the agriculture sector.
Yeah, very true.
And so I think that the way by which we are dealing with that is to impress upon our learners that we are not just developing farmers, but we are developing first and foremost agri-entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurs, scientists, because each of these individuals can certainly contribute a lot to nation building, not only in terms of their own immediate communities, but to the entire country as a whole.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to emphasize in our programs as well.
And I agree. I agree to that. It's very important that we see it as equally, a field that is as equally as important as others.
Yes.
And given the array of activities that you have mentioned, from doing research, magnifying pathogens under the lens of the microscope. Essentially, the discipline of agriculture is very physical, I should say. It includes a lot of laboratory activities.
Yes.
And of course, for the past 2 years, we've been doing online distance learning. I'm interested, sirs, how did you migrate from the face-to-face setup to the online distance learning setup?
Okay, if I may start, I think that we're very fortunate in this university because we have an administration that really fully supports, retooling the faculty to prepare them for an entirely new delivery system. I think that we are all privileged to have been given the opportunity to train ourselves, to learn how to use this technology so that we can continue with our main function, which is to provide quality instructions to our learners. I think it was difficult at the start, but I think that what we just needed at that particular time was an open mind on the part of our faculty, the right attitude, and of course, the willingness to learn. And I'm happy to report that, there were a few faculty members that really had some difficulties with it. But as we went through it, actually everybody started loving it. True agriculture is really field-based, and I think we take pride in our program being experiential. And that was one of the challenges that we have to contend with, because how can we provide an experiential activity using real-world situation in this online distance environment? But of course, we have to be creative, right? We have to come up with something that can substitute for the kind of experiences that our students should be getting. And I think in that regard, we have succeeded, all of us faculty members, because we really thought of ways by which we would be able to provide them opportunities whereby they can still learn about agriculture without having them to come to our campus. And so we tried to emphasize learning from the community, right? We tried to design activities that would allow our learners to make use of whatever agricultural activities and processes that are happening in their communities. And so we took advantage of that. So in a way, we still place a lot of emphasis on learning from real-world events, learning from their own experiences.
Which I think is very authentic. No?
Yes.
It's an authentic experience of learning. Would you like to add on that,
Yeah.
sir?
So I'm teaching soil science, so I really thought it would be impossible to do it online, but I'm very happy because once we started it, and after a week or two, I have discovered that we can really do it online. Since, for example, we gather soil samples in the farm when we do it face-to-face, during the normal times. But during the ODL, I'm very happy that I can really ask students to gather soil samples from different areas from around the Philippines. So we have, we have a lot of soil samples that we can analyze, and we can relate it to different dominant crops grown in their areas, and now we can explain why these crops are dominant in these areas because of the soil types they have, and students have appreciated that. So instead of all of them coming in and we have limited soil samples, for example, now we have a lot, and I can really explain to them. That's why they have these particular crops that are dominant in their areas, and why these crops also are grown and the market is there. So it's because of that. And apart from that, also we've been very creative. We become very creative during the, by virtue of no choice, we become very creative to survive.
To survive, yeah. It really has pushed us to our comfort zones. Yeah.
So a lot of laboratory activities that are supposedly done in laboratories were done online, and I think we succeeded in that. And sometimes I kind of think, what will I do now if we'll be going back to normal, because we become accustomed to the thing of online.
Okay. Yeah. So essentially what I'm getting is Dr. Cubelo pointed out a community-based learning, which is enriching the authenticity of learning, and at the same time you are, I would say, providing a richer context to the kind of learning, and providing variety in terms of examples. So, Ronelyn, maybe we can also ask them about what are the opportunities that they discovered about the shift to ODL, and what makes your program different from, of course, there are a lot of programs that are being offered across the country and in Southeast Asia and the world, but what sets Silliman apart from the others? Please hold to your answers. You'll answer that after we pause for a short break.
Welcome back to Silliman. Earlier, we asked a question to Dean Cubelo. What set Silliman University College of Agriculture apart from other colleges?
Okay, so let me highlight the outstanding feature of our program. Number one, we are the nationally recognized College of Agriculture in Region 7. We have been designated by CHED, right, as the National College of Agriculture for Region 7. And
Wow.
I think we were able to get that designation because of our very good performance in terms of the national licensure examination. We're
Okay.
actually one of the top 5 performing schools, no, in terms of performance in the national licensure examination. And modesty aside, I think last year we were able to produce 3 top-notchers.
Right,
And this
yes.
this wasn't really the first time that we were able to do that. Now, secondly, we take pride in our program being anchored on experiential learning. Of course, prior to the pandemic, we were really very strong in that regard. We have an approach to teaching agriculture, which we call as the alternative approach. And that the alternative approach is basically underpinned by the theory of experiential learning. And so we took pride in making sure that students are able to go through a process of reflection to learn about every experiences that they would go through, be it a real farm experience or a vicarious experience or even just the experience of reading.
Right.
So I think that that's really one of the things. Now, if you would ask our graduates and if they would ask you what was like one of the most memorable things, no, that you experienced in the College of Agriculture, I think that everyone would say it's the experiential learning. And another added feature into our program is that we are probably one of the few colleges in the university which would actually require a panel interview of our learners, right, before
That
graduation.
is a graduation?
Yes,
Oh,
that's like
wow.
every semester. On the
That's
first semester, they
interesting.
have to present themselves, like in terms of, just like any other college in the university, we have our program outcomes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We have a set of competencies that we want our graduates to possess, right, or develop, during the program. And so we make use of that panel interview. We give the students an opportunity to present themselves as well as evidence of their having met or achieved, the objectives. And I
okay.
think that's they would say that that's really one of the most memorable experience, like having to face the panel in a panel interview, how it is like, to experience all the tension and everything. And they think that that's like one of the most meaningful experience that they would have.
Right.
Okay.
So maybe, sir,
Yeah.
when you answer that question, maybe can you contextualize it as if, of course, a former student in your
Correct.
very own college, and perhaps you can also share how did that
approach.
diploma impacted your life
Yep.
also?
Yeah, I'm very happy that I'm a product of the alternative approach of Silliman, because it's not just about the skills that we learn from the college and the theories that we also gain from the college, but the approach itself, it's learning how to learn. So we're not just taught how to memorize, how to perform, but we are taught how to survive in a particular situation. So it's learning how to learn. So if, for example, if you are a graduate of agriculture and you do not want to work in agricultural sector,
Yeah.
so how can you survive in other disciplines?
Right.
So it's about blending in and how to, cope with the other disciplines as well, how to survive in other environments. So that's learning how to learn. I think that's very important. That's we call that an independent learner, or independent learning. So we have the different competencies of this approach. First is independent learner, being so you're expected to become an independent learner after you finish the course. Effective communicator, problem solver, systems manager, and
Technologist.
being a technologist. So
Yeah.
I think if you have these competencies,
You're ready.
then you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agriculture or not, you can survive.
And of course,
Yeah.
plus the Christian education,
Correct.
I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I may just add something,
Go ahead, sir.
our set of competencies are aligned with the institutional program objectives of the university. So we do emphasize like the development of critical thinking, problem solving, all of that are really built into the program. Making sure that our students are not just aware about the technical aspects of agriculture, but really also appreciative in terms of what's happening in the environment that affects agriculture. So we do not like put them sort of like in a box. We want them to be really open-minded and to try to learn about the things that are going on, because I mean, we are not we do not exist in a vacuum, right? The agriculture sector is certainly
Definitely.
influenced by and affects the wider environment.
Yeah.
So we made sure that we impress that upon our students.
Earlier, Dr. Dean Cubelo mentioned that when you see farmers planting on the rice fields, it's just the end of the line. Before that, prior to that, there's a lot of things that is actually happening. Now there are researches going on and a lot more different activities. Now I would like to ask Dean, what are the different career opportunities that awaits our graduates of the College of Agriculture?
And Dean, if I may add, is
Yeah,
it
sure.
true that if you're a graduate of the College of Agriculture, you will receive some acres of land from the government? I think I read that on social media. Is this
Yeah,
true?
there is a program of the government. No, I learned about it just very recently, and I do not know if that was really true. No, but I think just the other day, I think there was this group of students who graduate from a certain institution that received their certificate.
Wow.
So it must be true. And there were some of our students that also inquired about that, but I could not provide you the details. Going back to the question, can you?
What are the opportunities
Yeah.
that
Okay.
awaits our
So many.
Aside from the
actually.
land title.
Aside from the land title. Okay, if we do what we call it as a tracer study, right? And the tracer study would really give us a lot of ideas in terms of where our students are right now, right? And we find that many of our students are really working in industries. Right? Industries related to agriculture, right? So we see many of them performing very important functions. We see a lot of them working in financial institutions, our agribusiness graduate. If you look at the local banks here, I can mention 3 of them that are actually being managed by graduates of the College of Agriculture. You might think it's only the products of the College of Business Administration, but we have a good number of them managing all these financial institutions. We see a lot of them working in research. Every year, we always organize Balik Talent awardees, right? And we see a lot of our graduates really holding very sensitive positions, high positions in these top research institutions like the International Rice Research Institute, Field Rice. So we see. Picard, no? We have an ongoing activity right now. Okay, one of the key personalities in Picard is Dr. Sinan Baguio. He is a product of the College of Agriculture and is leading the livestock program of Picard. No? So a lot of things. Okay, and of course, a lot of our graduates are really serving as government workers. Okay, so in the government sector, we see a lot of our graduates working as extension workers, technicians, all of this.
Yeah.
And of course, the more affluent students of ours, really, they study agriculture not because they would want to be employed by somebody else, okay? They would want to become entrepreneurs and they would become employers. And so we have a good number of students that have become entrepreneurs, really setting up their own businesses, setting up their farms, and in the process also employ other graduates. Yeah. So yeah, there is indeed a vast array of opportunities that is open to our graduates. And so that is why I would really like to invite our youth to come and join the College of Agriculture because the opportunities are really limitless.
Yeah.
You have all that you need to do is really be very good student, okay? Train yourself well and learn as much as you can because I think that's all you need to succeed in this field. Yeah.
Dr. Cubelo, I would like later on to talking about to invite and ask about the admissions, but I just want to tackle a social scientific issue right now, which pretty much affects our lives, affects the agricultural sector, and I think in the same way, agricultural sector affects it, and that's actually climate change.
Yes.
So, how do we prepare our graduates vis-a-vis this climate change? I mean, do you have specific course or like, do you try to contextualize it in preparation for, let's say, worsening disasters? Especially that the Philippines really is prone to disasters, and we are the direct receivers of the effects of climate change.
Yeah, I think the topic on climate change is already encapsulated in all the subjects we teach in our college because, we're very vulnerable to the ill impacts or ill effects of climate change, but at the same time, we're also the major contributor to climate change.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy that I am the research coordinator because I can perform researches about this since we could not really just tell our students that we are contributing to climate change without really letting them realize the volume of greenhouse gases that we emit. or yeah, the greenhouse gases that we exhaust back to the atmosphere. So we conducted experiments with my students of the different, different organic materials from the campus, from the entire university, and we tried to measure the carbon dioxide that can be emitted to produce a kilo of this fertilizer. So if we produce tons, how many kilograms of CO2 that we
You get to contribute, yeah.
Correct. And apart from that, since we already have the baseline data on this, we tried to be creative and try to identify some technologies that would limit the CO2 evolution. So we have done this, and we're very happy that our trials show that indeed what we have done in the College of Agriculture can really limit the CO2 evolution.
Wow.
And I think, and what's the biggest, the good news about this is that we can quantify. It's just
Yeah.
Here sila
There's science behind
there's
it.
science
Yeah.
behind
Yes.
it, and the students really appreciated that because they're the ones measuring it in our laboratories.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's all really part of our research agenda in our college.
Yeah.
And so our students will be conscious about the farming strategies or the farming technology that they have in their own farms because when they do this in their respective farms, they would also have an idea already that if I do this particular practice, this would be the greenhouse gases that I would emit. If I open the field, this will be the kind of greenhouse gases that we can produce. So I think the consciousness of that from our students would really help. Yeah. And I think it's not only about them, but also the people that will be inspired by their activities
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Sir, would you like
Yeah,
to add?
If I may just add, just
Yeah.
as Professor Bulfa mentioned a while ago, the topic on climate change is embedded in almost all courses, right? Particularly in courses dealing with crops and livestock. We do emphasize that when we deal with crops and livestock, these are all vulnerable to climate
Right.
risk, right? And so what we do emphasize are the basic concepts. Like we have to make the students understand about the process, causes, and effects of climate change. We have to make them aware of the different adaptive strategies that they can
Sustainable.
use, right?
Correct.
And so in doing this, we try to emphasize in the courses that these adaptive strategies can be in the area of, let's say, for example, how do you alter the production environment so that you can minimize or reduce the effect of climate risk? We also try to share how do we take advantage of genetic-based adaptive strategies. And at the same time, we try to train them in terms of being able to assess and evaluate all of these climate change adaptive strategies. And since we see a lot of our graduates also working in government as part of the extension system, we also, as much as possible, train them to be better in terms of communicating climate change information, right? Because if I may just share a study which I conducted a few years ago, I actually did an assessment in terms of the level of competency of our extension workers in relation to promoting climate change
Okay.
adaptation.
Is this more on the climate literacy, sir?
Yeah, it's more on in that particular study, I surveyed our extension workers trying to assess how competent they are in terms of promoting climate change adaptive strategies.
Okay,
And
okay.
when we talk about promoting climate change adaptive strategies, we really have to look at it in terms of their basic understanding about what climate change, right? What are its causes, what are its effects, and then we also look at the different adaptive strategies that they can offer to
Recommend.
their farmers,
Yeah.
and then of course at the same time making sure that they're able to communicate these types of information efficiently. So, and I think that from that study. Even from our professional extension workers, I really found some sort of a gap, in terms of certain knowledge, and so because of that, we made sure that our students are already in a way exposed to that and are being made aware of that, so that when they find themselves working in the sector, then at least they have already been equipped with some of the foundation knowledge that they need to be able to deal with the issue.
So meanwhile, there is research and awareness.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So aside from that, those activities that you mentioned, what are other activities that the college actually spearheaded aside from those particular issue?
Yeah. Well, in our college, we have this monthly research lecture series because, being, close to nature, of course, it has given us the opportunity to appreciate more and give an avenue for everyone to, of course, realize their roles because we have the freedom and responsibility in science. And our college believes that, of course, since we are the mother of all industries. So I think this is the best time for us to, of course, educate also our not just our immediate clientele, but the rest of the So we have done this monthly research lecture series where we present our publications and also papers presented in international conferences, so that we can also echo this to the community and will also educate other people and would appreciate what we have done so far in the college. And we're very happy because it's very successful. It's attended by hundreds of participants from different institutions, different agencies, and it's in fact we will have our fifth lecture series tomorrow.
Well, I think, Ron, hearing all of the things that Dr. Cubelo and Assistant Professor Bulfa mentioned, it seems to me that, being part of the College of Agriculture really sounds very, exciting. I mean, it's fun. And at the same time, it's really, something that I will really learn a lot, and be part of a bigger purpose. But as much as we would love to hear more about your academic offerings, but we are really running out of time. So please share to us what are the admission requirements, especially that we're about to commence again another school year, 2022 to 2023. And maybe you can also invite, especially those who have not yet decided what particular STEAM course they're going to pick in college. So go ahead, sir.
So may I just take this opportunity to invite our public. In the College of Agriculture, we offer two Bachelor of Science program. The Bachelor of Science in Agriculture major in Animal Science and major in Agronomy, and the Bachelor of Science in Agriculture Business. We do have also our MS program in Agriculture with majors in Agricultural Extension. So requirements to get into the college. For the bachelor's level, we are not very strict in terms of our requirements. We are very welcoming. And so we welcome everyone, a high school graduate coming from all streams, to come to the College of Agriculture, because we do believe that we can really help the students prepare themselves regardless of their background. We have a program that's designed in such a way that even if you have zero background in these areas, that you will still be able to catch up. So I think that's what makes our program kind of attractive, because we're not very restricting in terms of entry requirements, right? So please do come to the College of Agriculture.
Yeah, and if I may just add, since we are training our students to be prepared, especially with the climate change thing that you mentioned, sir. We are gearing towards precision agriculture. In fact, one of our plans is to buy our own drones to capture images, and we can really create maps out of these and plan better for us to have a climate smart agricultural activities.
Nice.
These are our ways to, of course, have a climate resilient agriculture. I think we're going towards
Sir Bulfa, can you also invite our friends in Silliman, and of course Sillimanians, to buy your products at the Silliman farm? Please do promote, sir.
If you're thirsty, we have fresh milk in the farm.
Bakani man.
We failed to bring some for you guys. So you can visit there, and apart from that, we also have a lot of vegetables, and these are organically grown. These are not yet certified or organically grown, but we are
in the process.
We are applying our own organic fertilizers to these products, and of course, rice, many agricultural products that you can find in Silliman.
So don't forget to visit their Facebook page. It's Silliman University
College of Agriculture. And if they're interested about our farm products, we have also our own Facebook page, Silliman University Farm. So they can order, through our Facebook page as well.
Yes, and get to consume healthy products.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Assistant Professor Bulfa and Dean Cubelo, for an engaging conversation. We are now, at this point in time, we will have fun, and you are going to answer our Fasta. So you don't have to think
Go.
about it.
Okay. All right. So I'll start with Sir Bulfa first. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Silliman Farm or Silliman Zoo?
Silliman Farm.
Dean, plants or pets?
Plants.
Sir Bulfa, summer or rainy days?
Summer.
Dean Cubelo, morning or afternoon?
Morning.
Sir RC, beaches or mountains?
Mountains.
Okay.
Sir Bulfa, Dean, cities or countryside?
Countryside.
Sir, love or career?
Both.
How about our Dean, love or career?
It would have to be love.
Okay.
I'd like to
want to be
ask
original.
why.
Sir
Career
Bulfa.
is already there, right? But love, it's something that you have to continuously work on, right?
I need to say both because I love my career.
I thought you found the one.
Censored.
All right. Sir Bulfa, 3 reasons why study agriculture. 1.
Yeah, fun, interesting, challenging.
Yeah. Okay.
Dean Cubelo, 3 items or things on your bucket list?
Bucket list, to travel with my family outside of the country, okay? Number 2, bucket list. I don't know, but this is not personal, but this is something for the College of Agriculture. I want to produce a number 1 top-notcher
Wow, let's claim
next
it.
year. And
Yeah, manifesting.
we have a very good candidate. And I think number 3, I'd like to elevate the status of the agriculture at the level 3 PASCO accreditation. We are due for accreditation this coming January.
Good luck.
So I think that's...
All the best, sir. All right. I think the both of them have to answer this. Complete the statement. College of Agriculture is?
The best.
Wow. College of Agriculture is?
Outstanding.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Cubelo and Assistant
you for
Professor
inviting
Bulfa
us.
for joining us tonight. And we have come to the last segment of the show. It's called #WTP Word to Ponder. So Ron, what's the word you'd like to pick for this episode?
I'd like to pick on the word experiential.
Okay.
Because of all the things, of all the concepts that we learned in school, you know, the best way to put it or to really know that we actually absorb everything that we learn from school is to practice it, to actually experience it. And I think that is what the College of Agriculture is all about, and Silliman University is all about. Now, we are not just limited to the classroom, not just to the court, to the field, but, you know, we can also be competent in anywhere we can be put into. So basically, I think that's the best word. You know?
Experiential.
Experience. If you want to have a good college experience, and if you want to learn more, enroll in Silliman University and, of course, College of Agriculture. How about you, Josh?
Well, a lot of words, no? Maybe I'll just
true.
choose perhaps climate change. I mean, it really strikes me, especially that I'm a science teacher, and as they mentioned, agriculture sector is really one of the major contributors, and at the same time, it also as one of the major recipients of its ill effects. And I want to ponder on that word, and I'd like to invite everyone to be climate change advocates ourselves.
Yeah.
That in the most little way that we can do, let us fight climate change. It begins with information dissemination. And maybe we can end this episode by saying that essentially we need the environment, and there is no planet B. So
True.
we better take good care of our planet. Thank you very much for joining us, and to God be the glory. Hey there, Sillimanians! Daghang salamat for joining another episode of #Silliman. Please support our Facebook page. It's called #Silliman. And we also have a YouTube account. It's called #Silliman. Don't forget to click the notification bell for you to be updated with our recent posts. See you there!
And catch us at Phil Products every Monday at 8 p.m. And replays will be shown every Tuesday before the noontime news and every Saturday after the noontime news. This has been Ronelyn Vailoces
And Joshua Soldivillo. Kita-kits next week only here on
#Silliman!
Bye!